Hi guys, it's Kelvin Chong here at Camera Club Australia. Now, one of the main questions I get from eager photographers wanting to generate an income from their photography is, how much do I need to get started? What kind of equipment do I need? Well, it's not so much how much equipment you have, it's actually how you use it and the right pieces of equipment that get you from A to B. You've probably seen a lot of photographers spend tens of thousands of dollars on their camera gear, but they're probably not making a whole lot of money. And you've also probably seen photographers who are just on a shoestring budget, but actually making tens of thousands of dollars per month. So let me just outline some of the key things, some of the key infrastructure that you would need for a photography business. Now, when I started many years ago, approximately 19 years ago now, I remember I came home one day, and this was when I didn't have my big studio. I was actually working, I started out at home just like most people. And I told my mom, I said, "Hey mom, guess what? I've just bought myself a new toy." So this is my trusty Canon EOS 1D. Yes, the first one. I was one of the first to receive a 1D body in the whole wide world. Now this camera here, the body only, actually costs $12,500. Okay, $12,500 just for the body. And guess what? It's a 4 megapixel body. And yes, the autofocus is very fast, etc. But come to think of it now, even I'm sure your mobile phone camera has more megapixels than this and more function. So that's the kind of dollars that professionals were spending back then, because not many people had $12,000 to spend on a digital camera body. I told my mom, I said, "Don't worry mom, I know it's a lot of money, but this is such an amazing camera. It's the only camera I'll ever need. I only need to buy this camera once." And guess what happened? A couple of years later, I got the 1DS Mark II. And guess how much this cost me? Yes, almost $12,000 again. So look, whatever happens with technology, it's like we're always trying to keep up, right? But the thing here is you don't need to be caught up with all the latest technology. You just need something to do the job. And this 1DS Mark II body actually did a job for me for a really good 5 to 6 years, because it was a 16 megapixel camera. Now the thing here is just only a couple of weeks ago, being Christmas, I had a look at this catalog, and I think you can probably recognize this catalog, and it's just ridiculous how much technology and digital cameras cost these days, and it's in your favor. Check this out. It's a Canon EOS 1200D with a lens, and it's 18 megapixels. I mean, you could print out fairly large prints with that without scaling. So beautiful quality for professional photos. Okay, look at that hot price, $398. I can't even believe it. What used to be costing tens of thousands of dollars many years ago, $398, you're ready to go to take beautiful photos which you can sell. I mean, if there was ever a time to get started in the photography business, it would be right now, okay? Now, what are the other types of things that we need in our photo business? So I've prepared a little list for you here. And let's just consider the 4 Ps in our photo business. The first thing you want to be doing is just let people know that you exist and say, "Hey, I'm open for business. I'm doing portraits, or I'm doing family photos, or I'm doing pet photography, or I'm doing product photography." Just let people know that you're ready and open for business. And how can we let people know? Well, the way that you're watching this right now is probably on the internet, and most likely through social media, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube. I'm sure you found us through social media in some way. Has it cost us anything to get this message to you via social media? You guessed it, it doesn't cost anything, which is another incredible thing. In the old days, we had to pay money for pamphlet drops or to be printed in newspapers to actually get a message across. But now, being able to promote yourself is practically free. So the first thing we want to do is allocate some costs for promotion, which happens to be zero, okay? Sure, you might have to use some time to build your website, which again you can get for no upfront costs, joining some websites like Weebly or even like Wix.com. It just needs a little bit of time to chuck in some photos there and you've got your website ready to go. So for your promotion, let's get your web ready. Let's get your Facebook page happening. Okay, that's all free. Let's get an Instagram thing happening as well so that people can see your beautiful photos. Okay, so all of that, free. Okay. Next thing here, once you've promoted and people see your beautiful work, they'll start to ask you, hey, how much do you charge? Can we do a shoot with you? And then you get on the phone, which also starts with P. Okay, we need to get on the phone to make those bookings. And then the next thing is you arrange your shoot, and that's when you need your photography gear. So that's the other P that's here is now your photography. Okay, so for your photography, you'd need your camera, a couple of lenses, or even just one lens is fine. So as we already mentioned, your camera, it costs $398 and probably cheaper now since that was printed. Okay, so let's just say $400 for your camera. Let's just say a little bit of lighting gear. You might get a reflector, maybe a speed light, so that you can have professional flash quality looking photos, rain, hail or shine. Okay, so definitely recommended at least a reflector and a speed light. Okay, so these are about $200 and this is about, let's say, $85 depending what size you're getting. And that's pretty much it. You've got a camera, you've got some lighting gear, and these numbers added up, that's less than $1,000, okay? So you might spend a little bit on some extra batteries, of course, $20 on batteries, maybe get a photographic gray card, $20 on that. You might be getting some extra memory cards, again, $20 or $30 for extra memory cards. And I remember 20 years ago, we were dealing with memory cards that were like 4 megabytes. And now you can't even take a photo and have it being 4 megabytes. Now you've got memory cards in order of gigs, and it's just amazing the kind of technology we have now. So now that you've got camera gear, you shoot. The next thing is your client needs to place their order. They just choose the photos that they want. Okay, so just show your photos on a laptop or off the back of your camera, depending how you want to present it. Okay, they place their order, and then the next thing is you need to print or publish to deliver the photos to them. So maybe you do need a laptop computer or whatever computer to be editing your photos, or maybe you've got a tablet that you can edit your photos on. It's amazing again, what kind of infrastructure technology we have now. So this is what we call print or publish. Okay, so the cost of that in terms of physical prints, like your 8 by 12 inch print, maybe a couple of dollars to print at your local print lab. Something a little bit larger as a bigger print, maybe $10 to $20, okay, so it's quite negligible. So the main cost to start your photography business is actually your camera gear and some of the lighting gear, okay? For the print and publish, some of you might even be selling digital prints, in which case it's just a simple case of editing it quickly, editing the images and just emailing or Dropboxing the images to your client. So again, it may not cost you too much for that. So all up, you've got a full photography system. Oh, I just forgot. One other thing that's important in place order is another P word. Okay, it starts with P, and that is a PayPal device. So when they place an order, you want a way to be accepting that money. Of course, your client can pay you in cash. They can pay you via bank transfer straight to your bank account. But if they're using credit card, let's say Master or Visa card, you can actually buy these PayPal swipe devices that go onto your smartphone, or there's some standalone versions as well. You can just get them from Officeworks, for example, and they're just around about $100. Okay, so let's just allocate $100 to getting your PayPal payment system as a starting point. Okay, and when you're getting advanced, you can always go to your bank and apply for proper merchant account and so on. But all up, your full photography business system for under $1,000, like, wow. Considering that a lot of professionals nowadays are charging are averaging between $1,000 or more per portrait session. By the time you've done your first 1 or 2 photo shoots, you would have had the whole business paid off and covered, and you're in profit. Now, if you can think of any other type of business where you can be having fun, involving your hobby and your passion, and having your capital expense covered within a couple of days or even hours, I can't really think of any other amazing kind of business other than photography. The next question that usually pops up is, great, now I know what my goal is for the year, now I know I need to be generating, let's say, $65,000, and now I know it only costs less than $1,000 to get my business up and running, so I can actually do that. The next thing we need are customers. Where do we get customers from? Who's going to be paying us money to deliver beautiful photos? Well, guess what? Stay tuned, and that's coming right up.